What if everything you have been taught to believe about the nature of reality, about what is possible, about what the human body can do, about the limits of consciousness and the boundaries of the physical world, is only part of the story? What if there exists a dimension of human experience so far beyond the ordinary, so completely outside the framework of modern science and modern life, that most people in the Western world have never even glimpsed it, not because it does not exist, but because no one has ever shown them how to look? What if one book, written by a man who was born in India, trained by some of the most extraordinary spiritual masters of the 20th century, and sent to the West with the specific mission of bridging two worlds that had never truly spoken to each other, could open that door? What if that book was the only one Steve Jobs chose to have on his iPad, the only book he returned to again and again throughout his life, and the book he arranged to be given to every attendee at his memorial service? Welcome to Book Essence, where we unlock the essence of every book so you get the wisdom without spending weeks reading. Today we are breaking down Autobiography of a Yogi by Paramahansa Yogananda, one of the most widely read, most deeply loved, and most genuinely transformative spiritual books ever written. Let us unlock it. Yogananda opens his autobiography with a childhood that was unlike almost any other ever recorded in literature. He was born Mukunda Lal Ghosh in 1913 in Gorakhpur, India, into a devout Bengali family of considerable culture and education. From his earliest memories, before he had the language to fully articulate it, he was consumed by a single hunger. Not for success, not for knowledge, not for the things that most children want and most adults spend their lives pursuing, but for God, for direct, personal, experiential contact with the divine, not as a theological concept, not as a cultural tradition, but as a living reality that could be known, felt, and inhabited. This hunger drove him, from the time he could walk, to seek out holy men, saints, and sages, to sit with them, question them, and absorb whatever they could offer. He describes in the opening chapters encounters with remarkable individuals, people whose inner lives were so completely outside the ordinary range of human experience that most Western readers, encountering these accounts for the first time, do not know how to receive them. Miracles appear from the very first pages, not as background decoration, but as the central subject. Yogananda makes no apology for this. He is not asking the reader to simply believe. He is offering testimony, the honest, detailed, first-hand account of what he saw, what he experienced, and what he understood. And he invites the reader to bring whatever they bring, skepticism, curiosity, openness, and simply read. What they make of it is entirely their own business. The central relationship of Yogananda's entire life, the relationship that shaped everything he became and everything he taught, was with his guru, Sri Yukteswar. And the story of how they found each other is one of the most beautiful passages in the entire book. Yogananda had been searching for his guru, the teacher who would complete his training, for years. He had met remarkable teachers. He had received genuine wisdom from several extraordinary sources, but he had not yet found the one, the specific person whose guidance was meant for him, whose teaching would unlock what no other teaching had unlocked. And then, on a street in Benares, he turned a corner and found himself face to face with Sri Yukteswar. Before a word was spoken, before any introduction was made, both men knew. Yogananda describes the experience as recognition, not of someone he had met before in this life, but of someone his soul recognized from a level deeper than memory. Sri Yukteswar was everything a spiritual master is supposed to be, and everything that popular imagination suggests a spiritual master is not. He was not soft. He was not endlessly indulgent. He was not the kind of teacher who tells students only what they want to hear. He was demanding, exacting, honest, with a directness that could be uncomfortable precisely because he could see exactly where each student was hiding from themselves. He trained Yogananda not just in meditation, but in the full discipline of a life oriented entirely towards spiritual realization. And Yogananda, who would go on to bring this teaching to millions, credited every meaningful thing he became to those years of training. The essence of Yogananda's teaching and the essence of this book is a specific spiritual practice called Kriya Yoga. Yogananda describes Kriya Yoga as a precise scientific technique, not a vague spiritual aspiration or a general recommendation for meditation, but a specific, teachable, learnable method for accelerating the evolution of consciousness. The technique involves specific breathing practices, specific concentration methods, and a specific understanding of the relationship between breath, energy, and awareness that, practiced consistently, produces measurable changes in the meditator's experience of their own consciousness. Yogananda quotes his lineage of masters, who describe Kriya Yoga as capable of producing in months or years what might otherwise require many lifetimes. He is not speaking metaphorically. He is describing a technology, ancient, refined, and extraordinarily powerful for the systematic development of human consciousness beyond its ordinary limits. The Western reader, encountering this claim, faces a genuine challenge. The scientific worldview, the framework within which most modern, educated people understand reality, does not have a comfortable place for these accounts. Yogananda anticipates this challenge, and his response is both honest and sophisticated. He does not ask the reader to abandon reason. He asks them to consider whether the framework of reason they are applying is actually large enough to contain the full range of human experience. He points out that science itself, the genuine science of the 20th century, was already discovering that the physical world was far stranger, far less solid, far less predictable than the common sense framework suggested. Quantum mechanics was demonstrating that observation affects reality, that particles exist in multiple states simultaneously, that the boundary between the observer and the observed is not as clear as it appeared. Yogananda is not saying that quantum mechanics proves miracles. He is saying something more subtle, that the universe is stranger than our models of it, and that the honest response to strangeness is curiosity, not premature dismissal. In 1920, Yogananda received what he understood was a divine commission. He was to go to the West, to America specifically, and bring the ancient wisdom of India to a culture that had developed extraordinary mastery of the external world while remaining largely unexplored in its interior dimensions. He arrived in Boston in 1920, the first Hindu spiritual teacher to make a permanent home in America, and what he found there was simultaneously receptive and resistant. Receptive because many Americans in the 1920s were genuinely hungry for something their material success had not provided. Resistant because the cultural gap between his framework and theirs was genuinely enormous, and because the claims he made about the nature of consciousness and the possibilities of spiritual practice were outside every reference point his audiences carried. He spent the next 30 years navigating this gap, building a community, writing, teaching, and demonstrating through his own life what a human being looks like when every dimension of existence is oriented toward a single purpose. He founded the Self-Realization Fellowship, which continues his work today, with centers across the world, and he wrote this autobiography as the primary document of everything he had learned, everyone he had met, and everything he had come to understand about the nature of a life lived entirely from the inside out. Yogananda wrote this book not to impress, not to convert, and not to establish a religion. He wrote it as a map, a detailed, honest, first-hand account of one human being's journey from the surface of existence to its deepest interior, so that whoever comes after does not have to travel entirely without guidance. Steve Jobs read it every year for decades. He arranged it to be given to everyone who attended his memorial service. Perhaps he understood what Yogananda spent his life teaching, that the most important journey a human being can take is not outward, it is inward. And this book, more than almost any other, shows you the way. That is the essence of Autobiography of a Yogi. And that is what we do here at Book Essence. We take the world's most powerful books and unlock their wisdom so you can see more clearly, live more deeply, and perhaps turn and look in the direction that matters most. If this video brought you value, please like, subscribe, and share it with someone who is ready for a different kind of journey. Every week on Book Essence, a new book, a new lesson, a new chance to grow. Until next time, keep reading, keep growing, and keep unlocking your essence. See you in the next one.